Hello, everyone. Welcome to the workshop series at Oktana. Today, we're going to talk about the product design innovation process. How can we develop the design thinking and innovation strategies in our digital product development? My name is Andrea Gonzales. I'm a digital product designer here at Oktana, and I'm going to talk about the creative problem solving strategies, the design and critical thinking process, teamwork development, and the solutions evaluations and feedback when you are working in a product development. So nowadays, designers look forward to provide shapes and form and uses to create functionalities to ideas and contributing social changes, taking advantages of technology benefits that we really need nowadays in the UX UI experience development. We optimize the results using design and critical thinking and the integrative constructions of the process of those digital products. So dreams are limited only by imagination, said George Eastman, the founder of Kodak Company. He always said that our imagination and our ideation, it's just limited by our dreams. If we really wanted, we could make it. So what means this? This means that the creative problem has a solving system. This one, it's statements that says that nowadays design involves technology to solve more complex usability problems. The amount of data required to solve problems had increased rapidly in this century, and the design problem solving the process may need larger teams with more diverse members of different types of field. What is the meaning of this? For example, computer programmer, and we are surrounded in our company by different professionals in different fields, like web developers and designers. They tried or may try to solve difficult pieces of code and design, but not the larger part of the design problem. They combine with different designers and different developers and QA and other professionals. So maybe design is fairly young field comparing like other disciplines, like for example, engineer or architect or medicine or chemistry, but is the one that brings problem solving strategies like critical thinking and design thinking, with a critical and design process brings insights and innovation tools together. So the product design has an objective process. What means this? It has four main steps. The first one is contribute to social changes. That means knowing the society where you want to put a product for the use, proposing changes, and supporting commitment in between the team, the client, the user, and the tools that you are using. After that, you take a look to make it more formal your design or your ideation intentions. So, in that, you put values, like you express different types of values that are connecting to the reference of the society. So, you're putting together pieces that make you construct um, more equal or more balanced product. You give form to uses, optimizing the uses. For example, you make it better the user interface and the user interaction through the user experience. You take a look the attentiveness to the user. So you take a look what they are need or what they are needing in the society. And you're adapting the different uses to a contemporary needs. Last but not least, is very important to take a look and taking hold of technologies. You need to integrate technique and technologies and limiting the environmental impact, which is very important nowadays. So the first part is contribute to social changes. You have five main steps divided by three main groups in the design thinking process. The problem or opportunity, it's emphasized the research and interrogating the society and user needs and defining those elements that you were taking a look as a research part and proposing changes according to the user needs and the society needs and defining the brief, the remark design parameters, the design brief or the main words that are part of that research. Through that, define also is part of the solution generation process. Because through the definition, you go to the ideation, which is the main stage, the one that you create ideas for, select better design parameters for innovative opportunities and development. Last of this main step, it's the prototyping. It's very important, the mock-up construction. So you start creating solution in a more tangible way or in a more tangible product. So you could take a look the visualizing and storytelling what means that product development and how represent that for the user interaction. And you make it more interactive design and prototyping. The last part, which is prototyping and testing, it's the solution evaluation process, which means that testing and refining results is where you take a look the feedback from the users and from the people that are taking a look the product. So this is a process of emphasizing research, ideation, and this helps to go to the prototyping, product development. So you take a look what are like the main users, what are the elements that you need to take a look. You do brainstorming and then you make like ideation process. So this was like a development for a smart exam room, like telemedicine. So you need to understand the full experience of the users, the main users, the co-users, and you do that ideation and design thinking process. So in the ideation process, you have the divergent and convergent ideation process that you need to understand more widely what are you taking a look and researching and creating, and then you go like more detail in the convergent part. So are the main elements that will help you to develop the product that you want to achieve. So formalizing the intentions in the design thinking process, it's the main one, the ideate, create ideas for better solutions for design parameters or innovating opportunities development, which means you have a problem and in that problem involves three main elements. So you establish a deep empathy for the understanding and the end user. So you have the feasibility. The technology is the perspective or the main elements and tools that you can use to address this need or this problem or this opportunity. Viability is focused in the business, in the strategy, in the financial target, if it's going to be possible in the main or in the business side. Not not less important the user or desirability. Who is going to use and take care about it and why. The design thinking offer a design process development focus in the human-centered design. Designers always start their approach by looking what people need and what they are considering to take a look in the market so you can actually know more about the feasibility and viability perspective and also the desirability. So if you merge these three main elements, you will get the best opportunity in the market. So diverge to explore new possibilities. It's like go widely, gather a wide range of ideas. You do a brainstorming and you like start using a deck of creating prompting cards. It could be like, for example, post-it, so postcards that help you to brainstorm main words. Maybe you can work with like interactive teams and not only work with your main project team. So you create choices and you document everything. But then you have to go narrow those ideas and focus on the best road or the best element to go forward. So you refine the ideas, you recognize main patterns, you establish evaluation criteria, you like make a question is what concept is more likely the most appropriate for consumers, which projects approach most likely to meet the team goals, and like align ideas that are more connected with the company strategy. So you sketch ways or structuring your problem and give more main space to the like make words that conduct prioritization in this process. So you make choices. But then you do explore a range of options before selecting the best path. The divergent and convergent process, it's the hard, it's the main part, it's in the ideation process. So you use the usability structure in this and apply it in any time and any frame of the project. The main point is to recognize what are the behaviors that you might need at any moment? So, projects that create new values and have periods of exploration followed by critical organization and refinement. You also could use, like, for example, several times meeting a week or ro- like go across the project to take a look how you're going to construct this process, make you explore new options through the divergent convergent thinking, and then help you to prioritize your work that make it something more specific, like give you the option to go for a main direction. So a main example, it's the PS5, the PlayStation. This one, it's like a merge of all the experience that they had as a product in terms of industrial design, digital product development, UX UI development, and then make it more simple in the interaction for the users. You could take a look that Sony evaluate like graphic, 3D modeling characters, functionalities, interaction, how you're gonna take a look, the menu, the media, the content. So it make it more simple and minimalize the main functions so it's easier for the user to go through the product. This is another example that express value related to the user persona, the society needs. It's a bracelet that interact as a American Sign Language and has a chip or has a PCB board that helps to transmit the information through the movements of the hands of the American Sign Language to an app that translates. So this product helps to communicate in between the user that could speak and hear with another one that cannot speak or hear. So helps to connect technology. And this one, it's make reference to the functional characteristic interface and the architectural design. So recently, the UNESCO recognized the tereré, which is a traditional drink in Paraguay, as a part of the international patrimony. So what they want to do is the human heritage. So what they want to do with this product is try to pursue the construction of healthy spaces where they can process fresh herbs for the tereré in the streets. So the USAID worked with the Municipalidad de Asunción, which is the main office of the city, tried to promote like healthy spaces for these ladies that sells the fresh herbs in the street, and they wanted to do like a main communication, a brand that helps to identify this kiosk and then promote in the, for example, bus stops as a digital product, making like a leaf curtain and making like a 3D effect of going from one leaf to another one and has like a curtain effect or like a waterfall effect, and then how they're gonna take a look in a website about the product and how they can found it. So this is a way to combine different types of field like engineer, web development, interactive design, etc. Give form to uses. So optimizing the uses and functionalities, performance and efficiency is something that you need to merge in the user interaction and user experience development. So we are working recently how we can give more functionalities to main elements at, at the company that we are working. So we are proposing different types of technologies, how they can combine actually different types of tools to make it more dynamic, the results of the product. And then another examples is, for example, the merge of Slack and Salesforce that are considering the users in the design process. They are adapting them to make it more possible and accessible and make it more easier the interaction. So this is a main combination of the divergent convergent idea. Adapting uses to the contemporary needs. I had a chance to work with a mobile kitchen. It's a customizable kitchen development with a big company, a furniture big company. And then what they wanted to do is more accessible and how they can merge with technology and a motion capture system with virtual reality. So the users could customize easily first um, through the motion capture system, and then they can customize physically and easily the movement of the kitchen and the furniture. And Teradats is a smart rug. They adapt to the COVID 19 situation, the pandemic situation. So they wanted to make a social distancing smart rug, but at the same time interact with the families because most of the kids are staying at home. So they want to make it more dynamic, how they can learn movements, how they can work like gross motricity and fine motricity through the interaction of this smart rug that has lights and sounds and vibration. So you are combining, and it's a process that we work with software engineers so that they can combine the product interactions and uses to the technology to make it more feasible. And taking hold of technologies, we can take a look that Trailhead and Salesforce offer us an integration of technique and technology development. They improve the existing functionality and they convert intangible ideas to tangible solutions, simplifying the access to technology and identifying new and concrete innovations of shapes and forms. So we had a chance that different platforms help us to understand key principles of a product that exists in the market and that help us to implement in different types of projects, design, product development, digital solutions. So this is a merge of how tools and technology are part of our everyday life. And then the other big example that has also a merge of technology, visual, digital, product development, and some Striker. I work with General Electric, Autodesk, and Adobe in a project to start working more home, like medical home products that doesn't look like very medical because Stryker is a medical company in the US. So they are trying to develop like how technology could merge, for example, in a memory fridge for users with Alzheimer, but help them through a caregiver and an app to get a little bit of independence until last moment until they cannot anymore take care by themselves. So this fridge helped to limit the environmental impact. So they reducing the energy uses, they make it more effective the user experience process, the UI interface, and they reduce, reuse, and recycle part of the fridge. For example, the tapewares or where they can the content of food. So, for example, the user has just the direction through the main screen, which type of food they need to grab and at what time, but is also coordinating with a caregiver through the app so they could actually lock the other one so they just opens the one that they need. And the interface could be regarded as a step-by-step simple tutorial that provide clear instructions for the caregiver and the patient. Details that matter in the UX UI development and the design innovation process. It's UX is not only the UI, like the interface and the interaction is part of the experience. You need to know your audience in the research or in the step. You need to know and the audience and make research about that. You are not the main user of the product, even if you could be the final user in some point, you're not the main one. So you need to work the test product development. You need to adapt the designs for short attention spans. Like in years ago, they established like a parameter span that in between 8 and 13 and they arrived 9 seconds. So your design should approach to that attention span, which is very important. If not, the user just lost the concentration. The design simplify the UX UI interaction. Through the design and critical thinking process, make it more simple. So it's very useful to know design tools that help you to make it more effective, your development. You adapt the design process according to the product that you are working on it. That process is not something that it's like written in a stone. Like you need to know more about how you can adapt those tools according to what you're working. Um, you are ideating and prototyping before the final product. That's very important. The process of testing, the process of knowing, of trying, or taking a look different types of ideas help you to make it easier in the final direction. If you don't do that, maybe you will like commit some mistakes that could cost you a lot of time or process. So that's very important. Use real content. Most of the time, because we just need to develop like a rough mockup, we just use like information that has not any relationship with what you're working. So it's very important to work with real content, help you to develop a layout, mean like solid, and you make more simple and consistent. So that's another thing. If you work in a design, it's very important to follow up a design layout, make it simple and consistent so the user doesn't take a look any complication and lost the concentration or the attention. Recognition overall in the design process. This means that you need to recognize the main element that identify your product and make the design accessible and inclusive. It's very important that nowadays the inclusive design, the accessible design, um, going through the situation that we are living, it's something that helps a lot and make it simple for users. So it's very important to take a look that area. You are working in a team, so don't try to solve problems but yourselves, like in I said in ones or just in a big group. Try to work with a team or interdisciplinary makes easier for you, and don't try to solve everything at once. Try to give a space and go step by step what you're working on it. You need to prevent errors. um, it's always better than fixing them if you're designing and you know that um, in that process, if you doing something that maybe could cost you uh, time for fixing them, try to do it better. Always is important the feedback. So go through the ideation, prototyping, and feedback. That feedback that you receive from the users, from other teammates, or other professionals that not working in that project helps you to know more about different information that you will need to correct or make it better your product development and avoid dramatic redesigns. Users are very used to take a look and they're just like want to go through that pattern, and if you do dramatic redesign, it's they lost the attention of that. So it's better to go like gradually in the design or redesigns process and make it like easier for the user interaction. For more information related to this area, we have the chance that Trailhead offer us some suggestions that help us to go through different ideation, accessibility, prototyping, research, design thinking that help us to have like different tools in different areas. If you have any question or doubts, don't hesitate to contact me. And I could share more information about it. Thank you very much.